Welcome to the evolution of computers. Did you know that the oldest known objects used to represent numbers are bones with notches carved into them? And they are called Ishango bone. Ishango bone is a bone tool, dated to the Upper Paleolithic era. It is a dark brown length of bone, the fibula of a baboon, with a sharp piece of quartz affixed to one end, perhaps for engraving. Also, this bone, which was discovered in Czechoslovakia in 1937, is the first evidence of the tally system. It was found in 1960 by Belgian Jean de Heinzel in the Brocourt while exploring what was then the Belgian Congo. Did you know that Babylonians invented abacus between 1000 BC and 500 BC, although some pundits are of the opinion that it was actually invented by the Chinese? The word abacus comes to us by way of Latin as a mutation of the Greek word abax. In turn, the Greeks may have adopted the Phoenician word abak, meaning sand, although some authorities lean toward the Hebrew word abak, meaning dust. Also, abacus is one of the very first information processor. In 1801, Joseph Marie Jacquard invents a loom that uses punched wooden cards to automatically weave fabric designs. Early computers would use similar punch cards. And in 1822, English mathematician Charles Babbage conceives of a steam-driven calculating machine that would be able to compute tables of numbers. The project, funded by the English government, is a failure. More than a century later, however, the world's first computer was actually built. In 1890, Herman Hollerith designs a punch card system to calculate the 1880 census, accomplishing the task in just 3 years and saving the government $5 million. He establishes a company that would ultimately become IBM. 1936 Alan Turing presents the notion of a universal machine, later called the Turing machine, capable of computing anything that is computable. The central concept of the modern computer was based on his ideas. 1937 J. V. Atanasoff, a professor of physics and mathematics at Iowa State University, attempts to build the first computer without gears, cams, belts or shafts. 1941 Atanasoff and his graduate student, Clifford Berry, design a computer that can solve 29 equations simultaneously. This marks the first time a computer is able to store information on its main memory. 1943 to 1944 Two University of Pennsylvania professors, John Mauchly and J. Presper Eckert, build the electronic numerical integrator and calculator ENIAC. Considered the grandfather of digital computers, it fills a 20-foot by 40-foot room and has 18,000 vacuum tubes. 1946 Mauchly and Presper leave the University of Pennsylvania and receive funding from the Census Bureau to build the UNIVAC, the first commercial computer for business and government applications. 1947, William Shockley, John Bardeen and Walter Brattain of Bell Laboratories invent the transistor. They discovered how to make an electric switch with solid materials and no need for a vacuum. 1953, Grace Hopper develops the first computer language, which eventually becomes known as COBOL. Thomas Johnson Watson Jr., son of IBM CEO Thomas Johnson Watson Sr., conceives the IBM 701 atom to help the United Nations keep tabs on Korea during the war. 1954, the Fortran programming language is born. 1958, Jack Kilby and Robert Noyce unveil the integrated circuit, known as the computer chip. Kilby was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2000 for his work. 1964, Douglas Engelbart shows a prototype of the modern computer, with a mouse and a graphical user interface. This marks the evolution of the computer from a specialized machine for scientists and mathematicians to technology that is more accessible to the general public. 1969, a group of developers at Bell Labs produce Unix, an operating system that addressed compatibility issues. Written in the C programming language, Unix was portable across multiple platforms and became the operating system of choice among mainframes at large companies and government entities. Due to the slow nature of the system, it never quite gained traction among home PC users. 1970, the newly formed Intel unveils the Intel 1103, the first dynamic access memory (DRAM) chip. 1971, Alan Shugart leads a team of IBM engineers who invent the floppy disk, allowing data to be shared among computers. 1973, Robert Metcalfe, a member of the research staff for Xerox, develops Ethernet for connecting multiple computers and other hardware. 1974 to 1977, a number of personal computers hit the market, including Selby and Mark VIII Altair, IBM 5100, Radio Shack's TRS-80, affectionately known as the Trash 80, and the Commodore PET. 1975, the January issue of Popular Electronics magazine features the Altair 8080, described as the world's first mini-computer kit to rival commercial models. Two computer geeks, Paul Allen and Bill Gates, offered to write software for the Altair, using the new BASIC language. On April 4, after the success of this first endeavor, the two childhood friends formed their own software company, Microsoft. 1976, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak start Apple Computers on April Fool's Day and roll out the Apple I, the first computer with a single circuit board. 1977, Radio Shack's initial production run of the TRS-80 was just 3,000. It sold like crazy. For the first time, non-geeks could write programs and make a computer do what they wished. 1977, Jobs and Wozniak incorporate Apple and show the Apple II at the first West Coast Computer Fair. It offers color graphics and incorporates an audio cassette drive for storage. 1978, accountants rejoice at the introduction of VisiCalc, the first computerized spreadsheet program. 1979, word processing becomes a reality as Micropro International releases WordStar. 1981, the first IBM personal computer, code-named Acorn, is introduced. It uses Microsoft's MS-DOS operating system. It has an Intel chip, 2 floppy disks and an optional color monitor. Sears and Roebuck and Computerland sell the machines, marking the first time a computer is available through outside distributors. It also popularizes the term PC. 1983, Apple's Lisa is the first personal computer with a graphical user interface. It also features a drop-down menu and icons. It flops but eventually evolves into the Macintosh. The Gavilan, South Carolina is the first portable computer with the familiar flip form factor and the first to be marketed as a laptop. 1985, Microsoft announces Windows, its response to Apple's graphical user interface. Commodore unveils the Amiga 1000, which features advanced audio and video capabilities. 1985, the first .com domain name is registered on March 15, years before the World Wide Web would mark the formal beginning of Internet history. The Symbolics Computer Company, a small Massachusetts computer manufacturer, registers symbolics.com. More than 2 years later, only 100 .coms had been registered. 1986, Compaq brings the Desk Pro 386 to market. Its 32-bit architecture provides a speed comparable to mainframes. 1990, Tim Berners-Lee, a researcher at CERN, the high-energy physics laboratory in Geneva, develops hypertext markup language (HTML), giving rise to the World Wide Web. 1993, the Pentium microprocessor advances the use of graphics and music on PCs. 1994, PCs become gaming machines as Command & Conquer, Alone in the Dark 2, Theme Park, Magic Carpet, Descent, and Little Big Adventure are among the games to hit the market. 1996, Sergey Brin and Larry Page develop the Google search engine at Stanford University. 1997, Microsoft invests $1. 1999, the term Wi-Fi becomes part of the computing language and users begin connecting to the Internet without wires. 2001, Apple unveils the Mac OS X operating system, which provides protected memory architecture and preemptive multitasking, among other benefits. Not to be outdone, Microsoft rolls out Windows XP, which has a significantly redesigned graphical user interface. 2003, the first 64-bit processor, Athlon 64, becomes available to the consumer market. 2004, Mozilla's Firefox 1.0 challenges Microsoft's Internet Explorer, the dominant web browsers. Facebook, a social networking site, launches. 2005, YouTube, a video sharing service, is founded. Google acquires Android, a Linux-based mobile phone operating system. 2006, Apple introduces the MacBook Pro, its first Intel-based, dual-core mobile computer, as well as an Intel-based iMac. Nintendo's Wii game console hits the market. 2007, the iPhone brings many computer functions to the smartphone. 2009, Microsoft launches Windows 7, which offers the ability to pin applications to the taskbar and advances in touch and handwriting recognition, among other features. 2010, Apple unveils the iPad, changing the way consumers view media and jump-starting the dormant tablet computer segment. 2011, Google releases the Chromebook, a laptop that runs the Google Chrome OS. 2012, Facebook gains 1 billion users on October 4. 2015, Apple releases the Apple Watch. Microsoft releases Windows 10.